Hi, I'm Tammy. I'm 22 years old.
And I'm Krista, and I'm 25 years old.
And we're voting for Mitt Romney.
Okay, so first off, something that really bothers me about Barack Obama and Joe Biden is that they think women, I guess, are stupid or something. I don't really know, because they think that they're going to distract us from the real issues of our country, like jobs and the economy and unemployment, with like women's rights. Like Mitt Romney doesn't care about women's rights, but I didn't realize it was my right to have birth control paid for by taxpayers. If I don't want to have children, I can take precautions for that, and if I can't
have sex.
If I can't afford the birth control and I can't afford condoms, then I probably just shouldn't have sex anyway, because then I'm guaranteed not to have a kid, and I'm not footing that bill onto someone else. It's just ridiculous. And if you think that we're stupid enough to not realize the priorities here, then that's just complete disrespect for women as a whole, and you don't deserve my vote anyway. Obama also talks about how if Romney's elected, it'll be like taking a step back in time for women. He talks about equal pay, that women will make less, but...
And I'm pretty sure that women in the White House, don't they make 18% less than men?
Yeah. Explain that one, Brock.
Interesting.
How does that figure? That's weird.
And while we're on the subject of money, let's go ahead and jump right into welfare. And my thing with that is, if you can afford cigarettes, if you can afford your beer,
smartphone,
cable TV, you know, things like that, well then why do you need to be on welfare? That's my question.
Welfare is supposed to be a stepping stone, and unemployment and food stamps, they're all those programs. They're there to help you when you fall on hard times. A single mom in school, a single dad in school, you lose your job. They're not there to be a lifetime support system for you.
It's a stepping stone.
And for you to raise your kids on to be the same. They're there for you to help you get back on your feet, and then you get out there and you get a job and you pay taxes and you help the next person that falls in a hard time. It's not out there to just be your income for you to play Xbox and hang out and have your smartphone and smoke cigarettes and not contribute to society. There are people out there that really need those things, and for you to just milk that system and use it not what it's for is just not right.
It's wrong.
And we need to know.
We shouldn't have to pay for those things. If you like we said, if you can afford those things, then you don't need to be on welfare.
We need a president that's going to knuckle down on the people that are abusing those systems and cut out all that wasteful spending, and Barack Obama is not the person who's going to do that, and I really think that Mitt Romney is.
And you mentioned food stamps, so speaking of entitlement programs, before Obama there was 32 million people on food stamps, and now there is 47 million people on food stamps, right?
Either it's been easier under Obama for that many people to manipulate the system and get those benefits, or people are just really that much worse off. And in that case, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I know everybody says that now, but the answer really is no. Obviously not. If we've added 15 million people on food stamps, he's doing something wrong somewhere. Whether it's not knuckling down on the system or just that many more people need that help to just get by. And either way, that's
and we can't have 4 more years like that.
No, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And speaking of just 4 years ago, you know, being better off, I mean, now compared to 4 years ago, unemployment is higher, gas prices are higher, food prices are higher, just the basic cost of living is just higher. That's not an economy or a country that's getting back on track. That's a country that's veering farther off track, and he is taking us there. And it's just not, we're going to be Greece and we're going to be Spain, and that's not the kind of country that America's supposed to be. We should not be in this situation at all. And speaking of getting the country back on track, you know, Obama has time to go to campaign fundraisers with celebrities and go on all these...
Golfing.
Like, how much... you have to have improved your golf swing. Like, you must be outstanding.
You must be like the next Tiger Woods or something.
Like, it must be unbelievable. You must be unbelievable with how much golf you have played in the last 4 years. It's ridiculous. I mean, you should have been able to cut the deficit in half like you promised. If you would put as much effort into fixing our economy and fixing our country as you have playing golf and making friends with celebrities and the ladies on The View, and other liberally biased talk shows that don't ask you the tough questions that you should be asked, I mean, I don't know, maybe things would be different now, but obviously that's where your priorities are.
So basically, all you've done for the last 4 years is defend a health care that majority of us didn't even want.
And that you pushed through Congress without a single Republican vote. You refused to work with any Republicans. They were trying to at least defend what the American people wanted, something that we all feel is unconstitutional, or a majority of us feel is unconstitutional. But you didn't want to hear it because that's how arrogant you are, to think that you know how to make the best decision for us, which is not. We know what we want. We don't want a socialized America where you take over everything and tell us what we can and cannot buy as far as our health, like our personal health. It's our right to make those decisions and who we want to buy insurance from. And for you to think that you can just make that decision for us is not right at all.
And we have a president that when he meets with foreign leaders, he bows in front of them, which causes us to look weak and vulnerable, and America doesn't bow down to anybody.
Just like with the recent, it makes us look like we won't defend ourselves from terrorist attacks, and we've had terrorist attacks. I know he doesn't want to call them those things, but they are. Libya, it took him 2 weeks to say that was a terrorist attack when they knew within 24 hours, and he stuck to the story that it was because of some 2-minute YouTube video. Is absolutely ridiculous. You really expect the American people to be so stupid as to think that on the anniversary of 9/11 that this is over a YouTube video?
But he denies saying that now. He said that on the debate.
It doesn't make any sense. You denied the request 13 times for extra security, and now we have, 4 murdered Americans, and to you say that's not optimal? How disrespectful can you be to their families? They're dead Americans, and when extra security was needed, you just denied that for them, and now you have the audacity to lie about it afterwards and not even want to acknowledge it as a terrorist attack for 2 weeks. You might as well just spit on the graves of those people. It's just disgusting. It really is. The way you handled the entire situation was just disgusting.
It's pitiful.
Speaking of terrorist attacks, we can talk Fort Hood for a second. That was 3 years ago. That Obama, you continue to say that was just workplace violence. The guy that did this was had emails to terrorist organizations. He had terrorist ties. When he did it, he was screaming "Glory to Allah" or "Allah is great" or something. So because that's workplace violence. Those soldiers that were killed, their families don't get any sort of military benefits. The ones that survived aren't eligible for a Purple Heart. They can't get anything. And the man that did this is sitting in jail right now. Can't even go on trial because of this whole ordeal with should he have to shave his beard off, which just delays even more for the families, which is just a whole other disgusting aspect of this. But he's getting a salary of $6,000 a month sitting in jail because you can't call this an act of terror. It's workplace violence. How is this workplace violence?
He was a terrorist.
He was a terrorist. It's just your complete lack of respect for the men and women in our military that fight for this country.
And you're always blaming Bush. And for example, with the deficit, it was roughly 10 trillion before Obama took office, and now it's 16. So 6 of that was just what Obama spent. So that's more than any president in American history combined.
That's over 200 years of presidents and debt, and you almost doubled it in 4. But we're supposed to give you another chance.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
Hey, that's silly.
Mm-hmm.